with telling you, Your Honors, that this project can actually be done, allow me to first rebut a few statements coming from them. Apparently for them, they actually question the fact, they actually say that there's no relation between the length of schooling and the kind of learning that you get. However, if they've actually perused the discussion paper of DepEd, even the United States of America as early as 1925 cautioned the Philippines to actually expand its curriculum. We patterned our educational curriculum from America, however, we actually opted to cram it, such that right now we are actually seeing the effects. Even if you take a look at college education, the first 2 years are actually allotted for students to actually be refreshed with the things that they've learned in basic education. Therefore, we say that there is actually a direct correlation there. And they actually talked about, yes, Your Honor.
There's a danger in citing the United States. It is a very long cycle, but the shorter cycle schools, countries have scored higher than the United States.
That is precisely the reason, Your Honor. In the study conducted in Felipe and Oreo, wherein they said there's no direct correlation, all the respondents had a system of K-12 and longer. They excluded K-10 systems because according to global standards, as I will later on explain, it's actually K-12 is actually the way to go. As reinforcement to what my partner said about UNESCO, in 2005, there was a global educational report whereby UNESCO actually, they perused through the curriculums of all subjects all over the world. And they said that education is actually something that can be universalized. And in their suggestion, they basically said that primary education should actually be K-12. Your Honors, as we actually debate right now about the merits of K-12, practically the rest of the world is already part of accords. Bologna, Washington, which no longer recognize college graduates from the Philippines, Your Honors. Even sad to say, our neighboring countries of Singapore and Malaysia, they don't even recognize college graduates from the Philippines. The reason why their policy is actually bound to fail is because it actually lacks foresight. Supposing, Your Honor, that we actually go by their proposals, sure, we actually spend all our funds to finance K-12, to finance K-10, and we have the best classrooms. Even if we produce the best K-10 college graduate, the fact of the matter is that graduate will still be rejected by the rest of the world. This problem is compounded by the fact that we have globalization and most Filipinos actually travel abroad in order to gain employment. Your Honors, this is something that we have to address. As practicability, I will say that this program can be done. Why can it be done? First of all, K-12 is actually a priority project of the current administration. As a matter of fact, Pinoy added another $32 billion pesos in order to make sure that K-12 can in fact happen. Congress, for its part, has actually passed the Kindergarten Act of 2011, and as we talk, there's 2 pending legislations for the furtherance of K-12. This just goes to show, Your Honor, contrary to what they say, that all it takes is a strong political leadership to actualize an educational curriculum that is long overdue in this country. Second reason why this will work. DepEd, of course, recognizes the fact that K-12 entails money, which is precisely the reason why, if you take a look at the discussion paper, it's going to be implemented in staggered amounts, starting this year, and it will actually end in 2016, so the financial expense will not be as burdensome. And the third and most important reason why we are led to believe that this will happen, Your Honors, is again, if you take a look at the policy report of the Senate of the Philippines, at present there is a collaboration among the different sectors of society so that K-12 can be implemented. For example, local government units in Negros and Cebu, they are actually proposing to finance infrastructure building within their own locality so that it will not be as financially taxing to the government. The business sector, for example, they're in collaboration with the Department of Education right now, since present feasibility studies have shown that K-12 can actually increase the country's GDP by 3%. So, Your Honors, what San Carlos has basically told you tonight, that's true. The government has to scrimp on its money. But if it's going to resuscitate a curriculum that will be for the betterment of the country, it has to spend its money on good investment. We simply cannot breathe life into a curriculum that is antiquated and rejected by the rest of the world. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Alvin. Martin, 2 minutes to cross-examine.
Good evening. Do you honestly believe that the added cost for 2 years in high school is affordable?
Yes, because it's actually...
And do you believe that majority of Filipino parents belong to the average and below average income brackets can afford this addition above the already high cost of education?
Sir, can I answer that?
I'm asking, yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes
Okay.
or no?
Apparently, according to
Yes or
DepEd,
no? Yes or no?
according to DepEd, most
I'm asking you
of
for
high
a
school
yes or no
students
question.
actually drop out from high school because they can't afford to go
Exactly,
to
they cannot
college. In this
afford.
country,
That's my
that is
point.
the thinking. If you
Okay,
can't go to
now,
college,
let's move on to the
you won't
next question.
succeed. In K-12,
Do we
you
have
just add
enough
2 more
classrooms?
years, you can be employable.
Do you have enough classrooms?
Of course, no, sir.
Okay. Did you know this year alone we had 152,000 classrooms were needed for basic education?
Sir, but it's not mutually
Did you know
exclusive.
that? I'm asking you. Yes or no?
But we can
Yes
actually
or
fund
no,
that
Mr.
with higher
Speaker?
Yes, of course,
Okay. How many did the government build?
A lot.
9,000.
sir. Okay.
Quite ambitious for a program, don't you think? Where will you get the money?
Sir,
Allocations?
yes.
Get
Actually,
servicing?
32 billion pesos from the priority project. There's
Oh.
actually collaboration with different, even tertiary learning institutions are offering to lend their campuses, so DepEd will not be as burdened.
Okay,
We
thank
actually
you.
see that it's
You
a
were telling us that
collaboration.
we lack foresight.
Yes,
I think
we lack
it's
foresight.
you who lacks foresight.
Yes, sir.
You're
You-
taking
you are
money
the
from
one
certain
sustaining
things. No, look. You're taking money from certain things which the country needs.
Oh.
National interest and public good.
So
These are the
you're
things
saying
we
actually,
need.
sir, that if
All
it
right?
costs so much,
Okay,
then the
so let's
government
talk
should not
about-
pursue
hold
it,
on.
even if
Let's
it's for
talk about
education
the
and it
core
will make us
problem.
globally competent.
Let's talk about the core problem.
Okay, let's talk.
What is the core problem? Is it the
core problem
curriculum?
is the curriculum, sir.
The curriculum, why?
Yes, sir. You can just ask the rest of the world. It's actually just ongoing.
Yeah, but I'm asking you, sir.
Because you actually,
Yes?
I talked about UNESCO, and in that study
Okay.
conducted, it has
See,
to be
you
12
cannot
years.
tell me why it's the core problem. Okay? I think,
Sir,
I think
sir.
the enabling inputs are the core
Sir,
problems.
that's
How can you
precisely
put
the
a
reason why
curriculum
for the first
if
2
there are
years
no
in college
enabling
we take up
inputs?
physics, chemistry,
How
and all
can
these
you put
history
a
classes.
curriculum without
Because
enabling
we
inputs?
don't actually know the basic courses when we're